The following program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision. It's time now for the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Here's your host for the program, Joseph J. Zoppi.
Hello, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You can reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. That's one word. Or you could call us at 973-240-8593. Again, that's 973-240-8593, and we could answer any questions you may have, or you could email us from our website, again, to ask any questions or if you want something discussed on this radio show. For first-time listeners, my company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash, we purchase apartment buildings, we do joint ventures with other real estate investors, we loan money for rehabs and provide transactional and gap funding as well. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single-family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate, and we're very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not an agent, and we're not a brokerage, but I have individuals on staff that are agents that could sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service. This show is going to go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of our investments, what went well, what did not go well, and especially how we overcame them and learned from them. We'll talk about the economy and interest rates. We'll discuss trends in the real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important you know as much as possible about it. I'm going to provide you with my opinion. It's only my opinion. I ask everyone to do lots of research. Make sure you look at things from a balanced perspective. You might have a certain belief on something, and you might read an article or talk to someone which will support that, but really you need to look at the contrary of that and really take a step back and be very open-minded. Whenever you're researching anything or you want to get a particular contractor, whatever the case may be, it's very, very important to have an open view of it. So I can't say that enough. You know, one of the things that my son was discussing, so I've talked about numerous occasions about crypto and Bitcoin and things like that and my belief on that. And I'm going to talk about that very shortly, about that and his discussion I had with him today and a couple days ago as well on that. But before we do that, I'm going to do a quick shout out to Livingston's famous crossing guard, Paulette, and Tim from Cedar Grove, as well as Jenny, one of our new clients. So hello, welcome Jenny, and also Sally as well. So I want to make sure that a couple of things are understood. You know, we're not a brokerage, but we sell houses. We sell a lot of houses through the traditional multiple listing service. You know, if you're interested in selling your house in New Jersey, please give us a call. I have some really rock star agents, and we'll go through everything with you. We're very flexible to work with, and we're very passionate about supporting our clients extremely. You will be able to get in touch with us all the time, and we will make sure that we over communicate to you. Again, that's very clear, and that's something you really need to understand. We deal with agents all the time, and not all of them, but a lot of them are horrendous. They just are, and it's just the way it is. And some of them do it part-time, and We eat, breathe real estate, and the people that work for us do the same thing, and that's very, very important. So if you're selling a house in New Jersey, please give Templar a call. Now, as I've said before, also we buy houses in New Jersey. We buy houses exclusively in New Jersey. Uh, I had an individual the other day went onto our website, and he says, "Well, I see that it says we buy houses in New Jersey, but do you buy houses in Bloomfield?" I go, "Definitely buy houses in Bloomfield. That's definitely there. We buy houses in New Jersey. We buy houses in Kearney. We buy houses in Somerset. We buy houses throughout New Jersey. We buy houses in North Jersey. We buy houses in Central Jersey, and we buy houses in South Jersey. So we buy them everywhere within the state of New Jersey. So that's very, very important to know. And we have two offices, one in Princeton and one in Parsippany, but we cover the entire state. So that's very important. Also, one of our strengths is that we're listing agents. So there is a distinction between listing agents and buyer's agents. Now, for a buyer's agent, it's very, very important that they know the particular town really well, and they understand the politics associated with it and everything else that's associated with it. So, but when you're a listing agent, our biggest strength is our marketing, and that's what you want. And that's very, very important. Just because there's an agent that's in a particular town, that doesn't mean anything. We are listing agents. We're very, very strong at that. So with any house, you want to be able to get a lot of traffic to come in, even in a strong market. You always want to get a lot of traffic in. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and some of the things that are happening in the real estate industry from a listing perspective. But that's one of the biggest strengths that we have. We market, and we market a lot. And we do it through a lot of different avenues, everything from Craigslist to Facebook, uh, basically on Google. We do it on just about everything, and we spend a lot of money as a result of that, doing that marketing, as well as through mass mailing, so on and so forth. So that's a big thing that we do, and we're experts at it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are experts at it, and we know it really well. We have certain companies that do certain things for us because they're experts at that within the marketing. But we do a lot of marketing, and that's one of the reasons why we are so successful at what we do. Another thing, as I stated last week, mortgage forbearance is ending. If you need assistance, please give us a call. Again, even if it's not to sell your house, just you want to talk, please give us a call. We're here to help you out. I hate seeing anyone stressed out about losing their home. I think that's extremely, it's just debilitating to the entire family and the stress it brings on the entire family. So, that's something that I want to make sure that if you have any questions, please give me a call, and we'd like to help you out in any way possible. Not even selling your house or buying your house, just if you need help at all and you need a second opinion on something, we'd be more than happy to help you out with loan forbearance, and then eventually you could speak to the loan institution, whatever it may be, and you could get a loan mod or possibly refinance. But a lot of times, if you're not paying your mortgage right now, refi is really, for the most part, out of the question. maybe under certain circumstances, but for the most part, they'll be leaning more towards a low modification. So with that, all those fees and everything that was charged to you, they're just going to put on the back end of the mortgage, and they might, lower it, your mortgage a little bit. They probably will, but it's not like substantial. It's not like 50%. So I've seen loan mods where they're, a reduction of like 50, 75, maybe a couple $100 sometimes. It's not that much of a difference. Sometimes you could get more, most definitely, but you're not going to, for the most part, chop it down astronomically lower. So just just be wary of that, and be wary of the fine print associated with that. And that's the problem. It's fine print. So most people do not read the fine print, and it's very, very difficult sometimes to get out of those loan mods. And with all the fees they put on top of it, and it just makes it very cumbersome. And I don't like them at all. It's better that, from my perspective, you try to sell your house and then move to a smaller one or do something else. But when you're in that loan mod, it's like, you know, it's one step closer to foreclosure, basically. And they make it very, very challenging for you to get above water. It's like when you could barely afford credit cards and they're charging 25% interest, and you pay the interest, the minimum payment. You're never getting above water there and really paying down the debt associated with it. And even if you throw 100 or 200, it doesn't make much of a dent in it. And the same thing is with loan mods and the way they do it, and all the money they piled on top of it, and they don't forgive anything. They really don't. They might forgive something there, but then they put it somewhere else. It's just crazy. So just please watch that out. Another thing is inflation. I've talked about that. I'll continue to talk about it because it's still occurring. They're saying now that it's going to ease up within the next year or so. Well, that's always good. They put a shit out a year because, a lot could happen in a year. So they could hope and pray a lot that the interest, the inflation's going to go down, but we'll see. Some of the inflation could go down, with oil and lumber. Those things will definitely impact some other prices and drive prices down. But there's other things that are going to stay high. Rent is high right now, and they keep raising it. And, that's a problem. And usually, for the most part, rents are not going to go down for the most part. Especially with not enough housing right now, the chance of it going down a lot, based on some economic turn or something, is not going to be a lot. And the chances of that. So, you're going to have still high rents, and you're going to still have, salaries have gone up. They haven't gone up as much as the inflation to counteract it, but, prices are going up in terms of salaries. Uh, so those types of things are going to continue to impact on uh, prices and inflation as a result of that. So when they talk about, it's going to level off and go down, I wouldn't hold your breath on it. We'll put it at that. I really wouldn't. So the other thing before we go to a break is about crypto. So again, my son was talking about, well, Dad, should I invest in crypto? And he did some investment. He made some money on it. I said, that's fine. But I said, if you're going to continue with that, because it's so speculative, pull off what you currently put in and then keep the rest in. So you always want to do capital preservation. When you invest in something, you want to make sure you preserve that capital. You don't want to be losing what gains you made and, decreasing your capital. And that's, I think, one of Warren Buffett's saying is, you know, don't lose your investment. And number two is, remember number one, don't lose your investment. That's basically it, your capital associated with their capital preservation. So that's very, very important. So if you're going to invest in certain things, just protect your capital that you've put in, and invest away. But what we do here is we invest in hard assets, and that hard asset's real estate. So that's enough for now on this segment. So I'll be back shortly. Please give us a call at 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Thank you very much.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick, no high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TEMPLAR BuysHouses.com with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You can reach us at 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. That's one word. Again, if you need to sell your house fast for cash, please give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help you out, as well as if you want to sell through the traditional multiple listing service. So a couple of things I want to talk about. There was a survey that was done, and it was done by LendingTree, and it wanted to know who was using SpyCam when they're trying to sell their house. And a third of the individuals that responded said they currently use some type of SpyCam when individuals are in the house and trying to sell it. We don't do that. We have sometimes depending on where we are, we will have cameras. If it's far away, we do have our cameras, but they're only activated really at night and not when individuals are in any of our houses that we're selling. We just don't do that. But the participants that surveyed it said that one of the reasons why they do that is to understand what the buyers like and disliked about the house. And I guess they got the idea partially, on TV, where you see these houses being flipped and you see the individuals going throughout the house and comment how much they like the house or if they don't like the house. So I guess maybe that spurred some ideas. The other reason is that they want to do it from a negotiation perspective. So if they hear certain things, they could negotiate or counter that objection or whatever the case may be during the negotiations. And the last is to hear what the agents say about the house. So, which, there's always individuals that have a mistrust of agents, and some of it's maybe rightfully so, and some of it's not. So I'll balance that out. But we've had instances where agents say things, and not our own agents, but other agents that say things that are just totally incorrect, and they're just saying stuff. And when I'm at a house, and I don't do it often, but if I'm at a house and I'm listening to another agent and they say something just crazy, it just makes me cringe, and then I gotta delicately afterwards interject and correct them in a benign way, so nobody's gets ruffled, or feathers get ruffled, or anything associated with that. But yeah, a lot of agents, they just say things and they spew things out, and they're incorrect. And we had one agent that was telling me that the cabinets were on an angle and they weren't level. And I said, well, is it the cabinets are not level, or is it the ceiling isn't level? And it was the ceiling. I knew it was the ceiling. And then she just looked at it, and then she kind of acknowledged that, it wasn't the cabinets that weren't level. It was really the ceiling that was not level. And that happens, especially with older houses. So, and the way they would put up drywall, so on and so forth previously, all those factors play into it. But, you know, agents just say things to say things, and then when they're wrong, and when they're grossly wrong, it gets me crazy inside. It really does. Another thing that's happening, which I haven't encountered, and I've spoken to a few of my associates, but what people are doing now is when they're selling a house, they're taking some of the fixtures along. So normally in a contract, all the fixtures associated with the house stay. And those are usually the things that are kind of connected to the house. We have lights, and you have your cabinets, and you have a lot of times, not always, a lot of times the appliances are included, and sinks and toilet bowls and things like that. And obviously on the outside, all those things that are trees on the outside, so on and so forth. So there was a New York Times report that said that certain things people are taking, like expensive toilets, one of them, high-end appliances, and the reason for the high-end appliances is because there's a shortage on them. So they're taking those as well. There's one agent that said that he had a listing. It was like approximately $15 million listing, and the seller was taking the cabinets along, the kitchen cabinets. So, depending on how you arrange the agreement, technically you can take any of that as long as it's in the agreement. It says, I'm taking the cabinets, and you're making it clear to them, but you can't just like take them and not have any cabinets. There was also one where someone took the fruit trees in the backyard and just left two big holes. So because they were sentimental, for some sentimental reason, I'm not sure why, but again, any of those things can occur if you put them in the contract. And if you're selling your house and you want to take the toilet, you can take the toilet. But you kind of have to replace it with another toilet. But yeah, you could put anything for the most part in the contract. And if you want to take something, you could take it. A lot of times, like the blinds stay, shades stay, things like that, because they're really custom sized to a particular window. Window treatments stay for the most part. But we get that question all the time when we're selling our houses, and we do put window treatment up. So we don't do that a lot, but when we do, we obviously it goes with the house, because we're picking certain colors and certain types of window coverings to highlight certain things that are in the house that we want to highlight. So we always do that. But yeah, it really depends on what you want to put in your contract and what you don't, what you want to keep or not keep. But for the most part, those fixtures, the wall, anything to do with lighting, sometimes you might have a beautiful chandelier you want to take, and you say you replace it with XYZ chandelier, so on and so forth. And that's definitely doable. People do that all the time. But taking toilets and taking kitchen cabinets are not something that normally occurs. Just so you know. Now there's also a thing, a something that's going on in the industry sometimes, and it's private listings, it's whisper listings, it's pocket listings. Those are all things, and sometimes pocket listings occur, but I think they're starting to occur a little more often. And there's a belief, at least, that you're going to get more money that way, and that's not the case. And there was just a recent study on that. So if a broker comes to you and says that they want to do like a pocket listing or a private listing or whatever the term they want to use, please be wary of that. Now, obviously, if you want it to be private because you don't want it listed on the open market, that's one thing. Okay? But if they come to you and state that and say you're going to get as much money, for the most part, that's false. Plain and simple. As I said in the segment before about listing and marketing, one of the biggest things you want, and you want lots of people to come to your house from all around. And the more people that come, the better chance you have at meeting list price, above list price, so on and so forth. You're always going to get more when you have more people looking at the house. It's just, that's the way it is. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. When we market in any industry, or anyone markets in an industry, and you get more eyes on it, you could command a better or higher price. That's the way it is. So if a broker's telling you that they're going to get, the highest price, so on and so forth, be very skeptical of that. Be very, very skeptical. So there was a study done, and it found that homes listed on the MLS sell faster, and the median sale price was 17% higher than homes sold privately. 17%, just think about that. So 17% is a big number. A house median price listed at $310,000. And if it was listed at 260, you get another 17% on top of that. That's a big number. That's a big number. And that's huge. And I can't say that enough, And the other thing is that it's always good for the broker, because what the broker is going to do is they're going to get both on the selling side and the buying side for their commission. So it's always in the best interest of the broker to do a private listing or something, exclusive listing, so on and so forth. But for you as the seller, you want more eyes on it. You want it on the MLS. If you're going through the traditional multiple listing service, that's the way you want to go. In a heartbeat. As opposed to these private listings. I don't care if they have 10 buyers. It's not the same. Anyone that says that, that they could always confidently get the same price or higher, they're lying to you. So please, please make sure that you don't fall into that trap. It just gets me crazy. So I have to close out today. Thank you very much for listening. I want you to have a nice weekend, everyone, you and your families. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you and talk to you next week. Again, if you want to reach us, you could reach us at 973-240-8593 or TemplarCashForHouses.com. Again, take care, God bless, and I'll see you. Bye.
Life can be a roller coaster, and sometimes you need to sell your house fast. That's why there's TemplarBuysHouses.com. Maybe you're downsizing, getting a divorce, having health or financial issues. If so, head to TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com will buy your house quickly and without hassle. If you've inherited a house that is vacant, contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. Dealing with them is easy and quick. No high-pressure sales tactics, and you won't have to fix up the house. They will buy your house as is. You pick the closing date and when you move out. No commissions and no hassles. Contact TemplarBuysHouses.com. TemplarBuysHouses.com. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call 973-315-7990. That's 973-315-7990.
Be sure to listen to the podcast of the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. Find it now at TemplarBuysHouses.com.
The preceding program was paid for by Templar Real Estate. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WMTR. As always, it is advisable to consult a professional before making a major decision.